So it wouldn't work to try to find somebody else?
Well, I tried, Emory wanted to partner with, the Heart of West Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Heart of West Georgia said no. So Emory, I don't think we're having enough time because they're not looking at like, they still would love to do it, but they don't,
Right.
they don't have the fund, they don't know if they have the funding yet.
Gotcha.
So that, because they'd already given us a verbal
Right.
approval months ago, but then they have acquired more places, I guess. Have you heard like they're having to travel?
Oh.
That's the excuse she used.
Hmm.
She said, well, I know you just can't keep holding on, but.
Did you talk to Philip Abbott?
To Philip Abbott?
He was about to cut you a big check.
He did, yeah, he cut me a big check. I got that big check yesterday, actually.
Yeah. So you think we could do it with him?
Probably not with that big check. He might spot, well, I don't know. I have a board meeting tomorrow, so we'll see what it's
Okay.
8:30 in the morning. Cause I just talked to, Nicole from Heart of West Georgia. She called me back.
Mm-hmm.
Dead for yesterday. Cause she thought they'd be all on board. She was all excited about it.
Right.
And then she took it to the board meeting and it's too close to their golf tournament. So they still have a golf tournament.
Right, yeah.
So it's gonna be too close.
Gotcha.
It is. Doing all right. Thanks, sir. What's going on?
That's this table. But I changed it. I walked in, I think, the last horse, it's all, so that was funny.
Because I was like, well, we sitting up here.
This and they've been doing good like this for 2 years. So here, I'll show you what I brought.
Yay!
This is my part.
Okay.
And then this is the loop we just finished. I mean, that loop that we're doing right now. The yellow is part of the watch tower. Again, the that loop connection and then it's really like, and then here's more houses on it.
That makes it look bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
What's the whole acre?
I don't think it's you know, like,
In the grand scheme of things,
well, I mean, just like my house is on an acre, but really I only use like.
last year. Yours is next year. Roy's next year.
Yeah. It's funny to think about bringing the,
So Bird is here, and this is existing.
Cool, isn't it?
I want the little stand for things on.
They have that?
Well, what do you mean?
Mine is here.
Oh, there it is.
Art production.
It was broken, and then I think somebody thrown it away with it, clean out all of it.
She's standing here. Okay.
I was gonna ask you about Logan.
About Logan?
Yeah, I knew that she went away to school, but I had no idea where.
Yeah, so
I
he,
do remember the sign now in your yard.
yeah, so he's at Sanford. He got in. They've got a pharmacy school there, and so he's part of they call it EAP,
That's
early
just south of
acceptance.
Birmingham, right?
Yep, yeah, it's just on the other side. The kind of school. There's kind of mountain range, and they're kind of tucked in there, and Birmingham's right, right there. So
And I was only a junior.
it's only a junior.
I know, I see Google, I hear him bouncing the basketball.
Which he doesn't like. He plays football and soccer. Is the funny thing, but like he goes outside and will dribble and shoot forever.
I see you heading out a lot with the bikes on the back of the vehicle, so.
Not as much as I used to.
No, that's.
We need a blue marker, and we can do a little bit to here, a little bit down to here.
Since COVID, we used to get 100 a meeting, but now we're only getting 40 to 50.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have that where you have to make it up anymore? I guess this is on.
They made making up so easy that you can read an article in a Rotary magazine and
And that makes up for your meeting?
that makes up for missing a meeting.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
so people are.
Taking the easy way out now.
Uh-huh. Or you could attend, this is gonna be a board meeting over here afterwards. And if you stay and attend the board meeting and just watch, that's the makeup.
Oh my
And you
goodness.
can save up makeup for future after. So.
It is a whole lot easier now.
I didn't look to see what the meat was on the entree, but the vegetables or potatoes and baked beans and salad. Dessert.
Very nice. Yeah, Cooper's got a playoff football game this afternoon, which is odd that they have it on a Wednesday.
It is strange. Where is
So
it?
it's at Callaway Stadium. So I think it had something to do with scheduling of ninth grade and JV and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
What game was at the ranking the other day when you saw that yellow caution? I never figured out what it was.
Do not know.
I thought it was ninth grade.
The original plans for the thread cut the thread right through our athletic field at LaGrange.
Yeah, okay. So right over here.
Yeah. So anyway, gotta go back to the drawing board, the thread.
Oh, I brought an expert in to interpret it for you, so you ask the question at the proper time and he will answer.
Okay. What if I ask a question at an improper time?
Which is usually.
Or an improper question.
It is, or improper question is what we gotta worry
You
about.
know what a modus operandi is, don't
I
you?
do.
That's your modus operandi.
You know, because they've just extended from where I work at, Coleman Community Center.
Yeah, this is.
It was the terminus and now we come on. So how far is it now?
About right here.
My bearings.
That's over near Berta.
Yeah, so,
It's all behind Berta, behind the
I think
middle.
it's
You
yellow
can
and
see
Berta, and it comes down and it crosses over there's a nice little bridge here over
There
that
it
creek,
See
and
the
it comes
guts
and
of the
stops
mill,
right here.
and then it stops.
which they're finally getting the guts of the mill cleaned up, so I don't know how often you drive by there, but it was out there
Every morning.
for a while.
But, you know, so do you know what they're going to do?
With the mill,
Yeah.
he has it for sale.
Okay.
He's hoping somebody will buy it and redevelop it. John Knox.
I mean,
Elm City Mill, same thing, they have that. They actually have somebody looking at it right now for multifamily. To redevelop it like the Dixie Mill. perhaps.
yeah. Because that turned out.
They took out all of those huge beams and everything that was in there.
What are they
got the
doing
good
with
stuff out.
that?
Yeah,
They what,
What are they doing with the vans?
Richard Willie,
they go to a
he
third
sells
party.
it, yeah, he sells
Okay,
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
because
who buys them?
those are desirable.
Those are
All you gotta do is
worth their weight.
all you gotta do is price a couple of them. Now, they also go up mighty fast in flames, but,
Right,
you know.
well aware.
Not with the right fire suppression system.
Yeah.
Go through the
They all
line.
blow up. I mean, they're about.
Yeah.
Somebody else get some food. I feel guilty. How are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm better than I deserve, and I'll sit here where and lunch looks fabulous. I didn't think I was fat. I'm not.
What time is it?
I mean, it's 11:51. So usually I thought more people would be here.
It is slowly vibrating. We have more of these? I'm Natalie Hale.
And you're with,
That's all right.
oh,
Friends of the Red.
oh, well, great, I love the
Friends.
friends.
Thank you.
Oh, that's our board meeting? Wow, that's weird.
That's how it was said last time you were here.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were.
Oh, yeah.
You're on my computer.
Funny, right?
Barbara, anything I can help you do is pass out, do anything?
Today? No, you sit down and relax. I just want you to have a nice. I'm gonna grab my seatbelt.
I'm gonna get excited, I'm gonna eat up.
Hey, how are you? They're in costume. I say uniform. They're in costume. They're
All right.
like super cute.
Too fun.
Who's in costume? I said, is that a me standing on there saying, hey, go see Tales of Time?
There you go.
There you go. See? Much more interesting. Yeah, Darren. Tickets.
We need that.
What's it called? Twisted Tales of Love.
Barbara, do I need to sit over here
For the meeting you do.
for the board meeting?
Yeah.
But now, not now.
Unless you want to put yourself.
I just didn't know. Kind of like it's set up right there. That doesn't make sense.
I put my stuff over there because, my nose is like bothered.
I'm sorry.
I know, just got this. It's a change in the weather. John, yeah, he needs lefties to be on the okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Good, and for money, right?
Particularly good at that.
I'm distributing those for Nicole.
Steve?
We don't, you know, do that. Thank
And
you.
we're not a, hot dog, it's like a little bit of area, and this is just on the outside. Yeah.
Yes, all the care.
A big fragment. So they're not. Like I said, there's the graduation experience that first weekend, they started right before Labor Day.
Now, did Jerry have to dress up?
It's like, well,
She always
yeah,
dresses up.
Labor Day weekend.
Not really.
So really kind of kept them on.
How are you?
He's part of small group of kids interested in Christian missions work. And then, if you like a book and stand.
Oh, boy, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, what do you guys, I didn't realize it. And my computer, and
My board is not gonna be here today.
Well, bummer. Maybe
He's got
it's correct.
bronchitis. He's still getting over it. Oh, Jeff's not gonna be here.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta take him.
Yeah, Jeff just made sure he could see that.
Right, yeah.
So hopefully it's working. I haven't heard from anybody.
I think it will.
Don't put it on the work. Have you been in there?
yeah, I've only seen the outside. Yeah.
Hey, guys. Holly, I'll take care of you.
Basically, living room, you feel.
Yeah, yes, I mean, even if you just drop it a little. There you go.
It depends on the student. So each year there's a different opportunity depending on the major. And you really encourage them and also in the summer. So they can perform certain Japan, South America as well. So pretty interesting. Basically, the opportunity. We never had it.
It is.
So my parents from our LaGrange already suited them. So all the churches in the counties, we just have a sense for real kids. We have a good sense of different things coming up. So I make sure. Anyways, that's what happened. That's why I but there was really a problem. So I felt bad.
Hanging out with us too?
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you? Well, I think keep it.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Rotary Club of LaGrange. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation to be given by my staff.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll pray with me. The Lord has given us spring rains, summer harvest, autumn's colored leaves, and soon we'll experience winter's cold. But we rejoice in the Lord. He pours out His Spirit on all people. All along, all are welcome to the wonders in heaven and earth. Amen.
Thank you. Are we seated? Scott Land will now introduce our visitors and guests.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce our guests. We have quite a few today, so when I call your name, please stand and remain standing until all have been introduced. We have Kelly Finley, Savannah Hunt, Urban Green, and Adam Thornton, all guests of Carrie Weiss and LSPA. We have Andy Kinsey, guest of Jake Jones from Synovus. Sharon Alford is back with us, guest of Patty Youngblood, United Way. And Dr. Eric Mark, guest of the club, and soon to be new member. Thank you all for attending, and we welcome.
I'm sure all of you know, but our prayers are continue to be with Bob and the family of Jimmy Copeland, which is a great lady. He is sorely missed. No birthdays today. I'll also need to say there's a few pieces of cheesecake, so if you want some, now's the time for that. Okay. Club anniversaries, Monica Allred was 13 years last Friday. And wedding anniversaries, we finally have some. It's the D's of October. Dee and Hayward Horton, 13 years on Monday. Dee and Chris Lindner, 11 years yesterday. And Denise and Mike Wilson, 36 years also yesterday. Plan of announcements. Barbara, are you going to come up and tell us about World Polio Day?
Yes, please. Thank you. Monday is World Polio Day. We are going to have a social gathering at the Coleman Center on Monday, the 24th, this is coming Monday at 6:30. We have it's like only 22 minutes, and the theme for this year happens to be World Polio Day 2022 and beyond, a healthier future for mothers and children. And so that's going to be a little presentation, but it's really going to be a time for a social fellowship also. So please, if you're going to be able to come, let us know so we can kind of plan for it. I have I heard a rumor there will be a little bit of wine and cheese and different things, so it should be quite nice. Also, we are collecting, as we do each year for Polio Day, and the people that have already given some funds for us, thank you so much. And I know you still have time, so please just stop me and let me have whatever you have. Thanks so much.
Okay, other announcements before Happy Dollars. November 5th, early morning service project opportunity will be a joint effort by all the clubs, Kiwanis, Lions, Optimist, and of course, we, Rotary. November 5th from 8 to 10 a.m. Starting at Virgil Weather State, working with the city's cleanup effort related to periodically do. More information on that to come. Now we have time for Happy Dollars.
I would like to give you another opportunity for November the 5th. If you're in the cleanup or happens to be too cool, on your tables there are some flyers about a summit that United Way and Get Truth Reading are doing. It's on early childhood trauma, We started an early childhood trauma program a couple of years ago, right before COVID hit. We announced Troop Strong, so it's the 2020 Summit. Get Troop Reading, Keeping Troops Strong. It's going to start at 8 and we'll get over at 2. We have speakers from all over the state coming. It'll be at Callaway Callaway Conference Center on Fort Drive, and we'd love to have any of you come who would like to. There's a QR code on the bottom of the flyer, and you can register. There's no charge because we have grants that are funding this summit. But we would like to know how many people are coming because we'll have a continental breakfast and lunch provided. Thank you.
I have a dog, not necessarily happy. But as leaders in the community, there's lots of discussion going on in the community and information that you need to know. There's an error on the November 9th election ballot. As head of the election committee, some board, we've been fighting about this for a couple of days, not fighting, but when the ballot builder built our ballots, and if you look at, when you select your ballot, there are probably, I think the number 12 or 13 different combinations of ballots. There is one city election, and the city election is to fill an unexpired term of Mr. McCain. And the city races, the mayor's race is an at-large election. City council is by voting district. The way the ballot builder built it was as an at-large election. So if you vote in the city election, you will get a ballot that contains that election. Only voters in District 2 are eligible to vote. So we contacted Secretary of State's office, and they said, it's too late to change the ballot. We just discovered it on Friday. Go ahead and vote as is. So when you vote, those of you who have early voted, which started Monday, will see on where you vote at the voting machine. It says that you're not eligible to vote in this race. It's fairly clear. What we will do when we tabulate the results, we will segregate those ballots for the city council race. And we will eliminate those ballots, both ballots cast in District 1 for the District 2 race. And then we will go back after the fact and do an audit to be sure of that. It won't affect the ballot in any other way. So all the people who have those ballots, there are other votes cast, governor, secretary of state, all those kids. There's been lots of speculation why it was done, blah, blah, blah. It was an error. It was an error. It was oversight. The staff looked at it. They looked at all the different combinations, and they just missed that one. The voters in District 1 did that. So those of you, who hear about it, I understand there's been a lot of stuff on Facebook about it. I on Facebook, so my secretary had to come and show it to me. But we have contacted all the people that are in the race for city council. They're aware of it. So we're doing the best we can to be transparent about it. If you have questions, let me know. Contact Andy Harper, who's our election supervisor. But we're well aware of it, and we're addressing this quickly. So, thank you.
I do have a happy dollar, and it's to say congratulations again to Patty Youngblood for being selected as Grand Marshal of this year's Christmas Parade. Our theme is Santa's Helpers, and we couldn't think of anyone better to represent that theme. So congratulations, Patty.
I have $2. $1 because my daughter's moved back from London. She's been there a year. And the second $1 is she's going to have a little baby.
We got $1. I'd just like to reiterate what Patty said. I'll give you some statistics. Nationally, only 35% of public school students were at or above proficient in grade 4 reading. Middle-income neighborhoods, ratio of books per child is 13 to 1. Low-income neighborhoods, the ratio is 1 age-appropriate book for every 300 children. 50% of children from low-income communities start first grade up to 2 years behind in their peers. 1 in 4 children in America grow up without learning how to read. 1 in 6 children who are not reading proficiently in the 3rd grade do not graduate from high school on time or at all. So the point here is you don't have to be an expert in early childhood education. Grades years 1 through 5 of a child's life, it's very difficult to intervene in the first place. What you do need to do is come to this Callaway Conference Center presentation. Lunch is included. Learn so that you can be part of the discussion. Learn so that you'll know how deep the problem is. And the problem is deep here in LaGrange and Troup County. So I'd encourage you to do that and also to volunteer to be a reader at any of the schools that are around for the younger ages, kindergarten through 3rd grade.
I'm sorry to interrupt just a second. Along the same lines of what you were talking about, the Boys and Girls Club, which I think is the STAR program now, Jaja Hurd's program, she needs people to read with her children after school desperately, so please consider them also. Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. So Carrie Vice, you've sent me up here for a few weeks talking about Twisted Tales of Poe. Well, it is officially this weekend. It starts Thursday and runs through Sunday this week. Friday night sold out. So, but I brought some people who might explain it if you're tired of watching the same person talk about it. We have Savannah Hutt and Kelly Finley, Adam Thornton, and Urban Breed. They are actors in the show. If you have any questions to ask them, if you've never been to LSPA for a show and you want to know a little bit more about dinner theater, if you have any questions to ask them, they can maybe tell you a little bit about what the show is about, to let you remember. You can come an hour early before the show, bring your friends, bring foods and drinks, of whatever you like. We also have concessions, and then we'll be drawing after the talk for a couple of tickets for either Thursday or Sunday, and a couple of concession tickets. We'll draw for those. Do you have any questions, or?
Well, we were talking about our literacy, the disparity in literacy in the county, and Edgar Allan Poe. It's what, the middle schoolers start studying. The Raven, which our poets plays, and the Black Hat, which Savannah is in that story. And I am in the Telltale Heart, where you hear the heartbeat under the floor, because she is very. And then our lovely pianist, maestro, musician, yes, plays all of the creepy dun dun dun.
But it is a radio play, as if you close your eyes. Honestly, I think the director's words were he wanted people to be able to turn around and face the back of the theater and get the same experience as everyone else. All the parts are read live, the sounds are done live with Foley artists, with props. All the music is done live, nothing is canned, it's done right there in front of you. It's truly something else. I've been a part of the theater for several years. This is one of the most interesting and incredible things I've been a part of.
So we'll draw, you'll check your tickets.
745.
729.
And he's conveniently at our table, so we'll deliver those.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, hope you come to see the show this weekend.
Hello, one happy dollar. This weekend, I helped sponsor an event, D-Lane Agency, an all-inclusive fall festival. Essentially, it's going to be to where anyone with special need kids can come out, and they're going to have events that the kids can still play in. It's going to be 12 to 4 at Lafayette Christian School, so you all should be familiar with there. And we're going to have sack race, wooden egg race, cakewalk, music, plastic cars, and a free candy giveaway. So if you're interested in that, you may have special need kids and they can't get out and enjoy the typical events. This would be something good for them. Thank you.
come and introduce our program.
I brought my next door neighbor today to address this august group. Every time I drive to Rotary, I see the beautiful job they've done on the thread as I come the way of the club. And my next door neighbor happens to be very involved in this, and I'd like to introduce him to you so he can tell you what's happening with the thread right now. Our guest speaker today is Reverend Dr. Charlie Metcalf. Dr. Charlie is the pastor of Clearview Chapel here in LaGrange. He also serves as the president of the board of directors for Friends of the Thread. Charlie moved to LaGrange in 2005. Carrie, his wife of 22 years, is a pre-K teacher at Hollisand Elementary. They had 3 children: Logan, a freshman at Stanford University; Emma, a junior at LaGrange High; and Cooper, a 7th grader at Gardner Newman Middle School. Charlie holds a BA in Church Ministries from Warner University, an MA in Theological Studies from Asbury Theological Seminary, and a PhD in Nonprofit Leadership from Eastern University. He enjoys cycling, walking, not running, on the thread, and visiting major league ballparks. Dr. Charlie has been in ministry since 1998. His ultimate goal is to love Jesus and to serve the church for which he died. Charlie Metcalf.
Thank you, Roy. I look around the room and I see a lot of friends, and see former board member Scott Landa is here today. Current board members Curtis Brown and Joe Ragland are amongst the crowd here. Also see a bunch of supporters of the thread. I see former dancers at our main event as far as our Dancing for the Thread Gala. I see a lot of business and community leaders who have lent their support and influence to help the thread. Also joining me here today is Natalie Hale. She's the executive director of Friends of the Thread. I will mention her in a little bit. So I want to open up just by saying thank you. Thank you for being a Rotarian. Your service to our community is needed. It is appreciated, and it's working. I believe that people like you, the 1.4 million of you, people who take time out of their schedules to serve others, it's a rare breed. And so you're a wonderful example of what kindness and being humanitarian is all about. My first passion is in life is serving Christ, serving His church, and one of my other passions is the thread. It's a project that I believe in. I think it's a transformational project. It's a first-class amenity to the citizens in our community. I believe it helps to increase the quality of life, not only in terms of better health, right, physical condition, but also I think the trail promotes a relational connectivity. And so when I talk about it, I think it gives us places, spaces to meet, to greet with one another, to laugh with each other. I believe it's also responsible for helping to foster a lot of racial healing in our community, that it physically connects different neighborhoods and people who would not normally see each other in different settings. So it's awesome to see the diversity among people using the thread every single day. The thread connects us with the beauty of God's creation. And I'm also just thankful just to be here and to really appreciate the opportunity to share more about this project with all of you. So I'm going to briefly hit on 3 things this afternoon, and then we should have some, hopefully some Q&A time at the end. So first, again, thanks for the community support. And so I'll say thank you for that. And then I want to explain what the Friends of the Thread actually does. So most people know about the trail, but not specifically the Friends group, who we are, what we do, what we fundraise. And then, of course, I want to kind of give you the insider information on some of the future construction stuff. So first of all, to all of you as community leaders, thank you. And being a part of an organization like the Thread, it garners so much public support, and that support comes from ordinary people that you see next to you. So it's good to see so many people out using the Thread. Thank you for people who are financial supporters. This past August, we hosted the annual Dancing for the Thread Gala. Support was overwhelming. We had a number of willing participants. We had some very generous contributors. We raised over $121,000 So it was pretty amazing. And we were over 100,000 before dancers stepped foot on the stage. And so to have that kind of community support was amazing. We've got just numerous sponsors of the event, main sponsors, and then other smaller sponsors, and they all help. So those number of sponsors seem to increase every single year. The event itself is basically sold out before we even started advertising for it. And that's even with our increased capacity over at West Georgia Tech. So one of the questions we get is like, okay, what do you do with that money? So you've got that money, you've got money that came from SPLOST. How do we spend it? Who's in charge of making decisions surrounding the thread? And that's where the Friends Group comes in. So you have amazing leadership from the city of LaGrange, mayor, city council, city manager. You also have leadership on the county side of things, Patrick Cruz and other county commissioners. And so they put the thread project on the SPLOST, and that vote came through, and you overwhelmingly voted yes. But when it comes to the planning, construction, maintenance, we need a dedicated person to oversee it. So the Friends of the Thread has just an absolutely amazing executive director in the person, Natalie Hale. She is uniquely qualified for this position in terms of her real estate and then construction background, gifted in terms of business and personal relationships. So I feel weird introducing her in a group like this because I'm like, I think everyone in the place knows her. But you know, she just an amazing, gifted person to the Thread and to our community. And so when I brag on her, my sales pitch isn't just what an awesome person she is, but how she helps us as just a general taxpayer. Simply put, she allows us to go further and faster in terms of building the trail. And so her cost-saving measures bring us way more kind of bang for our buck than if we had other general contractors overseeing it. So that allows us to be better stewards of the money, take the trail further, and build more miles of trail. And then the faster part comes in terms of just having a dedicated person to oversee the project. She also oversees federal, state grant writing projects. The other neat thing about Natalie's position is that she's not employed by the city, she's not employed by the county, that she works for Friends of the Thread. The Friends Group also serves as a link to give community input to the project. We help out with acquisition of easements, segment planning, we help coordinate construction between the city, county, various entities, contractors during the construction. We help with the maintenance of the thread. And so a lot of times you think about just the money of building something. You can have all the money to be able to build a beautiful amenity, but you want to be able to make sure that you can, that amenity stays beautiful. And so there are plenty of other kind of trail systems out there that have fallen into disrepair because of people who advocate for it. So when I talk about Friends of the Thread, I say that we are here to help kind of build and then beautifully maintain the thread. Like I said, it's a first-class amenity. It's an amenity that appeals to all on the LaGrange. You know, race, age, gender, doesn't matter. Any given day you see just a beautifully diverse crowd of people using it. One of my favorite sights I see along the thread is when I see parents teaching their kids how to ride a bike. And so if you think about your children and you can think in your mind like, okay, when did I teach them to ride a bike? And you may be able to visualize that location. And now for so many people in our community, that location is on the thread. And so when you partner with the thread, like you're helping to make memories like that happen. I'd love to see my kids when they're out using the thread, and hopefully someday their kids and their kids being able to enjoy the thread just for a long time. And so the Friends of the Thread, we help in providing maintenance for the thread. People ask, okay, well, what can I do? How can I partner with you? I tell them there's all sorts of ways. First, just use it. It's wonderful to see people out using, enjoying the thread. People who use it, enjoy it, they quickly become ambassadors for the thread. Even when I came early, I saw the parking lot, and there's a whole bunch of thread stickers out there. So that community support, like I said, is something just neat to see. Next, you can help financially support the thread. You can become an official friend of the thread. So we sell basically memberships. There's different levels. There's bronze, silver, gold, platinum. I always tell people, I'm like, if you're going to become a member, do it at the silver level. Make sure you get the $100 in there because you get a nice little membership card that has a bunch of handy-dandy discounts to a bunch of different local businesses in town. We also sell sponsorships on our directional signs, trailhead signs, benches, pet stations, that sort of stuff. And so that's another way that you can help support. I do want to be sure to kind of give you the insider information on the latest upcoming construction. And when I do this, I always say that these are always subject to change. We've got different parts of the map that we can look at and be like, oh, this is our priority, where we're going, and then all of a sudden something happens and we end up going in another direction. But we brought a couple of visuals with us. So first we have an updated map. And so on this updated map, part of the update is completion of previously listed segments that were under construction. But part of the map includes new segments that were not part of our original master plan. So that's pretty exciting that when we map out everything originally, that there were different things that popped up that we didn't even know about. So I've got a thread t-shirt on the back has the master plan map on it. Now I'm like, that map is outdated. You know, I need to get a Sharpie on draw on the back of my shirt. But so I want to just kind of walk through a couple of those. We recently completed the connection between the new South End Park downtown, so the new dog park right there next to Wildleaf. And if you travel south off that, it goes to almost the Mulberry Street Cemetery. And this is a big deal because we have a future minor spur that will take you to the Mulberry Street Cemetery. And so if you haven't been to the Mulberry Street Cemetery, it houses Civil War tombs. And one of the main attractions is that it houses Horace King's tomb and also his son's tomb. So we have actually secured an actual Horace King wooden bridge. And so that bridge was brought here on a train and dropped down and then in February. And it took them quite a few weeks to put it back together and reconstruct it. And so the thread is going to connect to that wooden bridge and take you into the Mulberry Street Cemetery, into his gravesite. So it's a pretty big deal, especially in terms of our state history, being able to draw visitors. That will be part of a larger loop that will go all the way down to Callaway Clock Tower. There you go. It will go all the way down to Callaway Clock Tower and eventually come back to the LaGrange College segment. So we have completed south of LaGrange College. If you're at the Coleman Center, you can now travel south down that segment past kind of Berta Weathersby Elementary School. And so it's a big deal because at Berta Weathersby Elementary School, we're building a bike park. This is directly across from the elementary school. So we've got a plan up here for that. It's an acre property that will be developed and designed to teach kids how to ride their bikes in different kind of settings and obeying traffic laws and that sort of thing. So we're excited about that. And the whole goal, the parts that I've mentioned, is to be able to complete that loop. So we are waiting on CSX Railroad Company for some final permissions. And once we get those permissions, we'll have plans in place to have a total 5-mile loop that you'll be able to hop on or walk, ride your bike on, and have that 5-mile loop in place. So another big piece of news for us is the connection going from the Harris baseball fields over to Nutwood Winery. And really not to just go to Nutwood, but to go across Davis Road there to the new Ridley Lake Park. And so if you haven't heard about the Ridley Lake Park development, it's an amazing project. We received City of LaGrange received a $3 million grant for part of that project. And so that will have canoe and kayak launches. It will have, those launches will be able for, able for handicapped people to be able to use. They'll have special ADA kayaking. So pretty neat there. There'll be picnic areas, there'll be fishing, there'll be playgrounds. And then of course, around Ridley Lake, there'll be a nice big loop via the thread. And so we're super excited about that, to see that going. But the vast majority of our construction funding has come via the SPLOST. So if you're not familiar with SPLOST, it stands for Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. So that's why we say SPLOST, because it's a mouthful to say the other. But the last SPLOST vote, we received $10 million towards the thread. And so when the time comes up to vote on the next SPLOST, which will be March of 2023, I would encourage you to vote yes. I know Rotary is a non-political organization, which is awesome because for me, the thread's always been something that people from across both sides of the aisle can get behind, and that's one of the selling points for me. So overall, we passed 10 miles. We're up to 11.5, 11 and a half, somewhere in there, and we continue to plan, continue to have different additional segments pop up. So I think we're at 29 for the master plan. We'll be over 31 when it all gets said and done. So pretty neat to see
kind of adapt to different things. So when that Ridley Lake project went in, we said, hey, we need to be able to connect this to the thread. So appreciate your time, appreciate your contribution as Rotary members to our town. Thank you. I'm going to be hanging out here up after we get done here. So if you want to talk more about the thread, construction, usage of the trail, you want to talk about theology, you want to talk about how the Braves can't win a day game, you want to talk about curbside recycling. Those are things I'm interested in. I'm also in the process kind of praying about, running for city council. So if you want to encourage me to do so, say, hey, go for it. If you want to say, no, stay away, I'd be interested to hear that as well. We've got maps and decals out in the lobby if you didn't pick up one of those. But before we dismiss, I think we have time for just a couple of questions. And so you have, what questions you have about the thread, and I'll try to answer, but Natalie will really answer them for you. So, yes, sir.
What's the time frame to complete that 30 miles?
That's a great question. So,
Originally, the plan was 10 miles, but it's been, now that we've added miles into the plan, it's an ongoing project, is all we can say now.
So, but we had 10, the goal was to do 10 miles in the first 5 years,
Yes.
which was pretty neat. And we had COVID in there and it slowed us down a little bit, but also I think with the COVID, it was one of the things that we were the only amenity in town that was open throughout the whole time. So, some of the local parks and other things shut down, and we were saying, hey, get out there and use it, exercise during that time.
In the month of April of the first year of COVID, we had 30,000 people counted on the thread.
So the numbers for us, we've got trail counters out there, and those numbers spiked during that time. The segment, some years you're able to build 2.5, 3 miles real quick, and other times you're waiting on CSX for multiple years.
Or
And
2
you're like,
years,
hey,
yeah, 2 years.
I think we'll go to a different section and work on a different segment because the approval just aren't there. So, hopefully that I think we average around 2 miles a year as far as our distance, and that's ahead of some other state organizations. And then we also lead the state in terms of cost per mile, that we're doing it a lot more efficient than other trail systems. And if you ever go up to Noonan and see the lake, or go down to Columbus, we're blowing those guys out of water when it comes to cost per mile. So. Other questions?
I have two. One, the crossing over Davis Road, is that going to be overhead or at street level? And then the second question will be, once you get to like 26 miles, give me thoughts, maybe hosting a marathon?
Yeah, great. So I think the first one will be the Davis Road connection question. And so if you don't know, the intersection we're talking about is there where Nutwood, Diverse Power, there's a fire station right there. There's existing crosswalks in place already. So
GDOT put them in 2 years ago, I think. So they're already there.
Those existing crosswalks will be there. And as a cyclist and pedestrian that crosses, I'm not too worried about that intersection. I used to live in Lexington Park off of, that Lower Big Springs Road there. And so I was one of the ones advocating for a light there before they kind of expanded the road. And so once that light went in, it's nice to be able to go and cross there. So I'm not too concerned safety-wise about the crossing. It's a busier intersection, but it's a light-controlled one. And then the marathon, so we hosted our first 10K last February. February, we hosted a 10K. So as we continue to increase miles, we will continue to try to host races and try to host different running events just to promote the usage of the thread. And so if we can get to that 13.1, you'll be able to host a half marathon, and then you'll be able to say, hey, turn around here and do the whole thing again. Get your 26.2. So, but a lot of marathons out and back is not abnormal. So, once that gets in place, we definitely be able to host one of those in our community. So, Carrollton is another system that's within close proximity. So they've got an 18-mile kind of circular loop around their town, and so they host a lot of those different running events. For us, it's the same type of thing.
Now, will you hold the lake one up again? I missed the part about where is that going? I heard you say it's 88 guys, but
It's going to be across from Diverse Power on that property. It's there's a city fire station right there. So that's the city owns property right there.
And I think way back in the day, it was supposed to be a business park, or they had plans for a business park at some point in time. And that was 15 years ago, I guess. So, I mean, it's a beautiful piece of property.
It's
And
really
then
pretty.
you come up, and if you want to come up and look afterwards at the map, it's pretty neat to see that. Part of that includes a elevated playground,
You'll have
say that.
different playgrounds, yeah.
So, pretty neat.
Now, is that near where the Remington site will be?
It is where they were looking,
Okay.
yes.
I do have a comment. When the thread was originally constructed, park, I thought you had lost your mind putting grass all along it, because lots of other thread type walking trails have concrete all the way to the edge. But it's gorgeous, and the thread and city do a great job of maintaining that, and it's a great addition.
Yeah, we do have a great crew. They do a good job.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And then some of it, those buffers are safety measures too, that we try to have minimum requirements to kind of keep cars away when we do go roadside. Some of the newer sections will be nice because we'll get you away from some of the traffic. And so especially the section running from the Harris baseball fields over to Netwood and to Ridley Lake will be really kind of off-road, more nature. So don't have to worry about loud cars and exhaust and that sort of stuff. Any other questions? Fantastic. We'll be hanging out after.
Thank you so much. In honor of your speaking today, we'll be making a donation in your honor to Polio Plus, which is Rotary's initiative to eradicate polio worldwide. Just a reminder, those chairs were set up for a reason. There's a board meeting coming on right now. So if you need makeup, please come to that. Don't forget LSTA this weekend. Being live is a lot more fun than on the TV. So get out of the house and come see them. It's a ton of fun. We are adjourned.
Good job,
Thank you, y'all.
All right.
Swisher.
Yes.
And get rid of.
Hey, Natalie, good to see you. Good job, man.
Yeah, so park at the rec center and walk around whatever down towards First Tee. And then where the First Tee parking lot is right across there, we kind of consider it a trail. It's asphalt, but it's an existing trail there beside Harris Baseball. And so after you get
Oh, really? Just a big sidewalk. Yeah.
My church is on South Davis. I'll go walk in the morning to the Harris Ball Field and then head into the house.
When are you gonna do the Berta thing? The Berta thing. Is it already done? It's good to be seen. Yeah.
So you're under construction right now.